This is me, Narelle here, and welcome back to a new video. In this video, I'll be showing you guys Akise in 3 different Yaoi Manhwa art styles. I've been meaning to do something like this for a long time, but the time never got to me, so now that I have the time to do it, here's the video. So I hope you guys enjoy.
Alrighty guys, so here is the first artist in which I have chosen. I'm going to give you guys 2 hints for who this artist is. If you're able to guess what comic this reminds you of, then you're correct, because a lot of the times I cannot remember the names of manhwa artists to save my life. I think the only one I can remember off the top of my head is Kogi, which she did Killing Stalking, and I did not choose Killing Stalking because that's so obvious and everybody would get it. I chose some styles that you would have to be like, huh? You know, who is that? So I wanted to give you guys a challenge and know. So I did actually include clips of me showing the art supplies in which I've used too. So if you guys want to get the same effects in which I did, these are the art supplies. And no, the art supplies are not a hint because a lot of these artists just do digital media. So I guess digital media is another hint if you want to take it as one. So yeet. So for the drawing, the style was not that hard. I actually found that the style really resembled mine, if I could say that without it sounding, I don't know if it sounds insulting, but it does. It reminds me of my own style. So I kind of felt like I was in my own element, just with a few changes. Because of this artist, when she does masculine men, their faces are like Dorito faces. So I'm like, how can I make this look as Dorito-y as it can and still make it attractive? I didn't want Akise to have a Dorito face. So I'm like, okay. And then the hair, I had to reference off the Omega, then the Alpha, because the Alpha's hairstyle really didn't resemble Akise at all. So I guess if you can look at the hair and kind of guess what it reminds you of, hopefully you'll get it right, because I feel like this one and the second one are really the easiest ones. I feel like you'll get it right off the bat, and you kind of follow the same manhwas I read, you'll get them right off the bat. So yeah, and as for her coloring style, it's very simple. Like, it's very no detail at all, and the only thing I didn't reference was the tattoo Akise has, because none of these characters I saw had tattoos, so I just left it flat shaded, because again, I didn't want to add shading that's not in their style. I really wanted to keep it as original as I could. So yeah, all in all, I had fun doing this. The only thing I got upset at is because I actually went to get some washi tape for the background, because I started it and I realized, oh my gosh, if I try to do this without something to make it have a clean border, I'm gonna ruin this. So I went back and got washi tape, and I put my phone on pause, and apparently I didn't unpause it until I started adding water to the background. And I'm like, really, Nirel? But I'm adding the water because the background was not blending the way I wanted it to. So I'm happy that I actually did use Crayola markers, because when you put water on them, you can lift the color up so it kind of looks like the background's blended, but not, I guess, at the same time. But I really love the effect it gave, and I really feel like it pulled through. I know what, Narelle, what are you talking about? But I feel like it pulled through. So yes, and I'm adding white highlights in the background, but I did add some more off camera because the paper was still wet. And if you guys don't know, if you put jelly roll on a wet surface, it's going to fade badly. So you have to wait till your paper is dry and then reapply it, and it looks really nice. And then I added some stars in the background with my metallic pen to kind of make the background look more like the background. So this is the actual final look of the whole entire piece, because oof, it turned out super cute. And this is the part where you see me peel off that washi tape, and some of the edges are not good. A lot of it I actually went over the washi tape, which I'm like, Narelle, how would you even do that? Like, how is that even possible, man? But it's me. So this part, you can see I made a oop in the background. So now I'm revealing who the artist is. So if you guess that he reminds you of Love is a Illusion, and if you guess guys, hey, that might be Fargo's art style. You are correct. So, yes. Alrighty, guys. So, we're moving right along to the third artist. Like I said, I am showing you guys all of the supplies in which I use for these little drawings. At the end of this one, though, I got lazy and I stopped showing it because it was nighttime, as you can tell by the quality, and I was like getting so mad with this one. I'm like, I gotta get finished. I want to be done. So again, near the end, I just used a lot of my Tombow markers and my Crayola markers just to kind of solve up the issue near the end of the video. So for the hints for this artist, the first hint is, of course, it's a manhwa, but it's a regular manhwa. It's not a megaverse. It's a regular manhwa comic. The second hint is the background, because I feel like the background kind of gives it away, because based on the image I referenced, this is the same exact background like I said for the first one. And the third hint, because I feel like that'll help you guys out, the seme in this manhwa is online famous. So that's all I can say, because I feel like those three hints are big enough to kind of give it away. Plus the look of Akise gives it away even more, because he looks like one of the characters, just with a different hair color. But yeah, so getting into the way the style was interpreted by me, I didn't have a hard time doing this. Surprisingly, the first two, I was like, yes, I did it without any troubles. Because the only thing that was different from my own style for this one was the eyes. Because I think the manhwa artist has a more semi-realistic style to her. So I easily was able to draw, you know, the realistic looking eyes, the facial features and all that good stuff. So I didn't really have a harder time doing this one either. The references in which I followed, I actually had to bend and curve some of the way the artist drew her characters, because if I stayed true to how she did it hair wise, it wouldn't look like Akise. So I kind of had to, you know, keep her flow, but yet keep his element into it, because I don't want to sit there and make my character not look like my character, because the key to this challenge is to draw in their style, but not to change your character to make it fit their style. If that makes any type of sense, that's the reason why I'm not really a fan of doing these type of things, because I really don't like drawing in other people's styles. But again, it actually is a fresh breather just to see how your character will look in different people's styles. So like I said in the first clip, please do this. It's super fun, and you're just like, hey, I never would have imagined my character to look like this if it was drawn in a different style. So now we're moving on to the background. The background I actually had a lot of fun with, because I don't know why, but shading reds is super fun, especially if you have a really dark, rich red. It just makes it it makes shading red a lot more funner. And the red shade that I had to do the lighter red in, which was my Crayola red, it was actually dying. So you can see how scratchy and patchy it was. And I was just like, no. But I did go back over it with my Tombow to kind of blend it a little bit better. So now we're getting into the pill porn of this section of the drawing. The washi tape on the right actually ripped a bit of the drawing, which I was actually sad about, because I knew one of these drawings would rip, and this one ended up being the one that ripped off. So I'm just like, no. So now we're moving on into the close-up of the drawing. Like I said, I really loved how this one turned out, even though I had to struggle to find out which details were there with the artist. But if you guessed that Akise reminded you of Alex from BJ Alex, and that the artist is YJ, you are correct. Alrighty, guys. So now we're at the last and final artist. This artist is already exposed. It's Hajin, the artist and creator of Totally Captivated. I totally forgot to block her name out, because I just went into the coloring, because I knew it was going to be really difficult for me. And by the time I got to Akise's hair, I was like, oh crap, I forgot to cover her name up. And then I was like, you know what? I got Sony Vegas. I could just easily make a black image and put it over her name and the book and all of that other good stuff. And then I'm like, Narelle, just think realistically. You don't got time for that. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just expose who this third artist is and get my video up. Because I'm just going to tell you this right now. I'm super lazy. And if I just forget to do something, it's just going to have to be that way. I'm not going to take my time and edit too much than I already have to do, because it's just a waste of time, honestly. So if you guys could already tell it was Hajin you, good job to you. And if you guys still don't know who she is, then I guess good job. Because I don't know, I just wanted to pick somebody that's not really well known, and I don't really hear a lot of people talk about Totally Captivated anyway. So I'm like, you know what, it would have been great if I hit her name and surprised you, but now I realize me and my stupidity, I'm like, okay, it's whatever. But let me talk about her art style, which I should have been doing. Her art style really isn't all that difficult. Hajin Yu, she focuses more on the face mainly. Her eyes are very expressive and her hair is very expressive. I didn't go as wild in my version of Akise in her style because, again, I really was running out of time. Guys, I finished this on Friday. Like, I did not have a lot of time left, so I just kind of made it the best I could. And then everything else is history. As for the coloring, boy, guys, I legit don't have any color references for her stuff, and the only thing I have is the books of Totally Captivated. So I legit have to look at different books to kind of see where's the shadows, where's the highlights. Guys, I was out of it by the time I finished coloring Akise's skin, because I'm just like, I legit can't. But I think the coloring took me literally more than half of the video time. That's legit how long it took me to actually color his face. But I'm like, you know what, Narelle, you do this because it's a learning process and you need to learn how to do this. So thank you, Draw This in Another Person's Style Challenge. For making me appreciate my simplistic art style. But other than that, it was fun. I admit it was really fun. So, guys, I'm telling you, the struggle was most def real. The coolest thing about her style is the eyes, because you can see that his eyes look like an alien right now. But once you put in like the white highlight, it just comes through. It legit. So I'm like, yes, and shut up computer notifications. Guys, I'm done. I'm legit done. So like I said in the other two parts, I left Akise's tattoo flat shaded because I really didn't want to shade it and make it look not like her style. So yes, and with the hair, that marker is a Sketchbox branded marker. It's really streaky. I was using cardstock, which isn't good for markers anyway, but with the other picture I did, it's still streaked. So it's not the paper, it's the marker. Because if it was the paper, Copics would have streaked, but Copics look ever so flawless in this drawing. So yes, I think it's dying actually, because I used it a lot for this. It still has a little bit of juice left, so I'm happy, because honestly, this color of green is really too dark for Akise's hair, but I really didn't want to bust out watercolor because watercolor does not mix well with this paper, so it would have made them a lot uglier. So I'm like, you know what, I'll just make them uglier. Well, not uglier, I just make him half as ugly than to make him look like a hot mess. So yes, so with her hair, again, there's like simple highlights here and there, but again, just to save time, I just kind of kept it simple. And I really feel like out of all three styles, I think I got hers the most, which is weird because I was scared of doing hers in the first place. But yeah, so that is pretty much it for this part of the video. I'm going to come back at the end to show you guys all three pictures side by side and show how different each of the style is, and just to prove that we all have our own unique styles and we should all love them and adore them. So I will see you guys at the end of this video.
Guys, sorry for the bad quality of lighting, but these are all the three styles put side by side. As you can see, Akise looks legit so different in every art style. Fargo's is the most cartoony out of all of them, and Hajin is the most realistic out of all of them. So I don't know, it's so freaking cool, man, to see Akise in three different styles. Oh my gosh, I would have drawn my own, but I'm literally out of time for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite, YJ, Hajin Yu, or Fargo. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.